guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, we'll tackle about Filipino values and moral development, the strength and weaknesses of the Filipino character. Let's have the strength in the Filipino character. The first strength in the Filipino character is pakikipagkapwa-tao. As you can see in the picture, the people are helping each other or building good relationship with each other. We saw them not just as friends, but as family and realized that we were quite diverse. Kapwa-tao means a fellow human being. Filipinos open to others and feel one with others, regard others with dignity and respect, deal with them as fellow human beings. On the other hand, pakikipagkapwa is seeing ourselves as connected with others, leads us to be better relations with our families, with schoolmates or fellow workers. It leads towards concern for our community, our country, and for our environment, both social and natural. In pakikipagkapwa-tao, there is a basic sense of justice and fairness. Fairness is a quality of being fair, showing no bias towards some people or individuals. Justice is giving a person his due. So by that, we want fair treatment in all situations, as we believe that we are all equals and deserve impartiality. We should treat everyone equally, or we should be being fair to someone else, because we are the children of God, which should be treated equally. Let's have concern for others. Caring for another is so powerful because it creates deeper bonds as individuals lean on each other for emotional support. It also teaches important virtues such as patience, understanding, and loyalty that benefit individuals in both their personal and professional lives. Concern for others shows consideration towards others, especially during their difficult situations. Ability to emphasize with others. When we say emphasize, it is to give special attention to someone or something. We should have the capability to understand other person's thoughts and feelings in a situation from their point of view rather than our own. Helpfulness and generosity in times of need or pakikiramay. Practice of bayanihan or mutual assistance, Filipino hospitality. This means that being helpful and generous to someone is a good thing, so that the people have someone to lean on in terms of their problems or any challenges that they have. We are the one to advise them on what they should do and think for the solutions from their problems. Specifically, if someone needs help, we should help them because we are family and we should help each other in difficult time that we had in our life. Bayanihan is a core essence of the Filipino culture. It is helping out one's neighbor as a community and doing a task together. Thus, Filipinos are hospitable, wherein they welcome the foreigners or tourists who visit the country. For Filipinos, it is a pleasure and the country's honor to accept foreigners as visitors and build genuine relationships and friendship with them. Sensitivity to people's feelings or pakikiramdam. The best way to be sensitive to other people's feelings is to listen carefully to what they have to say and to speak kindly. It's important to learn ways to take care of your own feelings as well, or we should care about people's feelings and we should think deeply before we speak. Next, we have pagtitiwala or trust. So, sa pakipagkapwa-tao, there should be trust each other so that the result will be good. Sense of gratitude or utang na loob. Utang na loob, where one has to have an attitude of gratitude and a commitment to return the favor of being the recipient of good deeds and moral support from his family, relatives, and community or to another people. And lastly, we have the camaraderie and a feeling of closeness to one another. So it is necessary to have a good friendship to one another in pakipagkapwa-tao. The second strength in the Filipino character is family orientation. Family is the greatest asset among the Filipinos. It is a wealth they can never exchange to anything else, including money. Basically, they are at all times emotionally attached to their families even after marriage and separation from their parents. Let's have family reunion. Filipinos possess a genuine and deep love for family. Family reunions improve familial bonds, and it is a fun celebration of your family and how big it continues to grow. Family orientations is a source of personal identity, emotional and material support, and one's main commitment and responsibility. Honor and respect given to parents and elders, care given to the children, the generosity towards skin in need, and in great sacrifices one endures for the welfare of the family. In addition, strong family orientation leads to closer bonds and supportive relationships in all areas of life. It is the quality and nature of family relationships that are of the most importance. Family orientation is not about spending all your free time entertaining family members, but it is a commitment to a relationship, wanting to spend time together and looking forward to the company of family. The third strength is joy and humor. Filipinos have the ability to find humor in everything. It sheds light on the optimism and positivity of Filipinos in whatever situation they are in so as to remain determined in going through struggles or challenges. Mostly, Filipinos want to smile and laugh to reduce their stress. Filipinos have a cheerful and fun-loving approach to life and its ups and downs. We have a pleasant disposition, a sense of humor, and a propensity for happiness that contribute not only the Filipino charm but also to the indomitability of the Filipino spirit. Laughing at ourselves and the mess we are is an important coping mechanism. We laugh at those we love and those we hate, and we make jokes about our good fortune and bad. As you can see in the picture, there are all Filipino memes wherein mostly Filipinos are very humorous in terms of making jokes. When they see that memes, they would totally laugh and laugh because it's exactly funny. The fourth strength is flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. This allows the Filipino to adapt and be flexible in doing the task, at times not bound to a particular schedule or time frame. This allows them to think on their feet and be creative in facing whatever challenge or task they have, even when it is already right in front of them. We can adjust and to adapt to circumstances and the surrounding environment, both physical and social. Adjust to whatever happens, even in unplanned or anticipated events. We possess a tolerance for ambiguity that enables us to remain unfazed by uncertainty or lack of information. For example, flood, landslide, tsunami, and earthquake. These are disasters and we don't know where and when it occurs. So all we can do is to be prepared and search some information on what are the things we should do if these disasters might happen. We should help each other to survive. Creative, resourceful, quick learners can improvise and make use of whatever is at hand or in order to create and produce. Accepts change, adapts to life in any part of the world, in the ability to make new things out of old scraps and creative in cultural sphere. In addition for that, creativity helps you see things differently and better deal with uncertainty. Creative people are better able to live with uncertainty because they can adapt their thinking to allow for the flow of the unknown. And if you are a resourceful person, you would quickly adapt to new or different situations where you could able to find solutions, think creatively, and sometimes manage with what they have available. The fifth strength is hard work and industry. As you can see in the picture, Filipinos are very hardworking because it is the way so that they could survive and could buy their daily needs and wants. We have the capacity for hard work given proper conditions to raise one's standard of living and to possess the essentials of a decent life for one's family. Although hard work is one of the most important things in life as it helps us to be more confident. If you will work hard, then you will be able to achieve all your goals and fulfill all your dreams. Working hard with full determination always pushes us one step ahead in life and help us to surpass our limitations. The sixth strength in the Filipino character is faith and religiosity. Filipinos have deep faith in God. Yes, this is literally true. Mostly Filipinos are very religious and they trust God above all. Our innate religiosity enables us to comprehend and genuinely accept reality in the context of God's will and plan. Religious expressions is very tangible expressed every day. We relate to God like a human being, threaten, think, ask forgiveness, appease by pledges. Tragedy and bad fortune are accepted and some optimism characterizes even the poorest lives. Related to Bahala Na, which may be considered positively as a reservoir of energy, a psychological prop on which we can lean during hard times. Bahala Na attitude is attributed to the strong faith in God that sometimes they just rely on faith rather than to do something to improve their lives. In addition, faith is trusting that God loves and takes care of us in spite of our faults. Religiosity is trusting that our thoughts, words, and actions will endure ourselves to God so we can be saved to His glory. If we call upon the name of God, we will be saved. And that is true. The seventh strength in the Filipino character is faith and religiosity. Our faith and daring was manifest at EDSA and other times in our history, even when it was difficult to be brave. Our faith and daring was manifest at EDSA and other times in our history, seen in the capacity to accept failure and defeat. We recognize forces external to ourselves as contributing to how events in our lives turns out. However, the results of the Filipinos' faith are courage, daring optimism, inner peace, as well as the capacity to genuinely accept tragedy and death. The eighth strength in the Filipino character is ability to survive. Filipinos have an ability to survive. Filipinos make do with what is available in the environment. A basic optimism, flexibility, and adaptability, hard work, and a deep faith in God. To survive is to continue to live or exist despite dangerous or life-threatening situations. There are many circumstances that could threaten the survival of a person or a group of people. Thus, all we can do to survive is we should have to adapt our environment, being resourceful, ability to learn, and we should motivate ourselves. In addition, Filipinos find a way in order to survive. For example, street people. They have to beg for money to the people who pass along the street. They do this so that they could buy foods or anything that they want. Some people also trade garbage so that they could sell it and earn money. It is a way for them to survive. Let's move on to weaknesses in the Filipino character. The first weaknesses in the Filipino character is extreme personalism. Filipinos view the world in terms of personal relationship. As you can see in the picture, the person is upset due to the actions of the child. However, that child didn't do anything, but what he saw is the opposite. The person besides the child was one who commits mistake, and because of it, that person feels embarrassed because the child was falsely accused. Filipinos view the world in terms of personal relationships, no separation between an objective task and emotional involvement. There is in fact some basis for such interpretations, as Filipinos are quite personal in criticism and praise. Personalism is also manifested in the necessity for the establishment of personal relationships before any business or work relationships can be successful. The second weaknesses of Filipino character is extreme personalism. Because of this personalistic worldview, Filipinos have difficulty dealing with all forms of personal stimuli. We tend to be uncomfortable with bureaucracy, with rules and regulations, and with standard procedures, all of which tend to be impersonal. We tend to ignore them or we ask for exemptions. Personal contacts are involved in any transaction, and these are difficult to turn down. Preference is usually given to family and friends in hiring, delivery of services, and even in voting. As a result, extreme personalism leads to the graft and corruption evident in Philippine society. When we say corruption, it is a form of dishonesty or criminal offense undertaken by a person or organization entrusted with a position of authority to acquire illicit benefit or abuse power for one's private gain. For example, corruption is manipulating elections, diverting funds, laundering money, and defrauding investors. The third weaknesses in the Filipino character is extreme family-centeredness. It means that very strong family protection, whether it is in good or bad condition, and situation, or consentidor or overprotected. For example, a community project may be awarded by government official to his family member or relative because it will profit this person. Excessive concern for the family creates an in-group to which the Filipino is firstly loyal to the detriment of concern for the larger community or for the common good. And also, excessive concern for family manifests itself in the use of one's office and power as a means of promoting the interests of the family, factionalism, patronage, and political dynasties, and in the protection of erring family members. Family-centeredness results to a lack of concern for the common good and acts as a block to national consciousness. The fourth weaknesses in the Filipino character is a lack of discipline. It means that disregard and disobey rules and procedures and hope they cannot get caught, which oftentimes they could. As you can see in the picture, the garbage was not properly segregated and filthy wherein the garbage were scattered. In this condition, the people literally have a lack of discipline in which they don't care about the environment. They tend to throw their garbage anywhere rather than throwing it in a trash bin. The Filipinos' lack of discipline is manifest in a casual and relaxed attitude towards time and space, which manifests itself in lack of precision and compulsiveness, in poor time management and procrastination. This statement means that the person is procrastinated when he or she was doing a particular task. When we say procrastinated, it refers to put off doing something. As you can see in the right side, where the picture talks about the lack of discipline, in which the person didn't listen to what his elder wanted him to do a certain task, and instead of doing it, he covers his face and ignores it. We are impatient and unable to delay gratification or reward, resulting in the use of shortcuts, in skirting the rules or the Palisade syndrome, and in foolhardiness. We are also guilty of ningaskugon, starting out projects with full vigor and interest which abruptly die down, leaving things unfinished. So by that, our lack of discipline often results in inefficient and wasteful work systems, violations of rules leading to more serious transgressions, and a casual work ethic leading to carelessness and lack of follow-through. The fifth weakness in the Filipino character is passivity and lack of initiative. When we say passivity is allowing others to do things to you without complaining or pushing back, and when we say initiative, it is about taking charge of things, then a personal quality that shows a willingness to get things done and take responsibility. six weaknesses in the Filipino character is colonial mentality. When we say colonial mentality, it is the internalized attitude of ethnic or cultural inferiority felt by people as a result of colonization. It corresponds with the belief that the cultural values of the colonizer are inherently superior to one's own. Filipinos have a colonial mentality which is made up of two dimensions. The first is a lack of patriotism or an active awareness, appreciation, and love of the Philippines. The second is an actual preference for things foreign. Patriotism means supporting and loving our country even when it's going through rough or difficult times. You still love our country even when things are not as you desire or you would like. So for example, migration. Some people tend to migrate other country because they were ashamed to their country. Another example also is some Filipinos prioritize foreign products rather than its own country. Filipino culture is characterized by an openness to the outside, adapting and incorporating the foreign elements into our image of ourselves, not built around a deep core of Philippine history and language. The result is cultural vagueness or weakness that makes Filipinos extraordinarily susceptible to the wholesale acceptance of modern mass culture, which is often Western. Thus, there is preference for foreign fashion, entertainment, lifestyles, technology, consumer items, and etc. In addition, the Filipino colonial mentality is manifested in the alienation of the elite from their roots and from the masses, as well as in the basic feeling of national inferiority that makes it difficult for Filipinos to relate as equals to Westerners. The seventh weaknesses in the Filipino character is kanya-kanya syndrome. It is an offshoot of crab mentality. Filipinos with crab mentality do not seem to be happy when someone becomes successful and tends to pull them down. Example is when abroad. A fellow Filipino is doing well, so this person will try to destroy him by spreading nasty things which are not true at all. Filipinos have a selfish, self-serving attitude that generates a feeling of envy and competitiveness toward others, particularly once peers seem to have gained some status or prestige. However, the kanya-kanya syndrome is also evident in the personal ambition and the drive for power and status that is completely insensitive to the common good. This characteristic is also evident in the lack of a sense of service among people in the government our emphasis on norms is reinforced by an educational system that is often more form than a substance and a legal system that tends to substitute law for reality. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.